What's up everyone, how's it going? It's Simon here from CD Revival, back from my holidays with another brand new CD ranking for you. Today I'm going to run through the Aerosmith discography, ranking this one from worst to best. I've already shown you my Aerosmith CDs, but this time I've ranked them all. I've done it very scientifically. I've gone through on like Rate Your Music and basically listen to every album, ranked every track, made an average, and then also I've got a very definitive score for each album, so it's enabled me to rank them very scientifically, so there could be no arguing in my own head which ones I think are best and which ones are worst. So yeah, so I'm going to start off with my number 14. I'm not going to include Honkin' on Bobo because it's just covers and it's like old blues songs, and I don't think it really fits in with their studio discography. But yeah, Aerosmith, first album came out in 1973. They've had a pretty steady lineup throughout the years. Obviously Steve Tyler, Joe Perry, Joey Kramer on drums has always been there, Brad Whitford on guitar, and Tom Hamilton obviously on bass, yeah, so it's been pretty, apart from the guitarist which changed over, which I'll mention, but only for one album as well. So yeah, new microphone as well, so hopefully the sound quality will be improved from my previous videos, so let me know what you think on that one as well. We're going to start off with number 14. No massive surprises really. Music from Another Dimension, from 2012. It's currently their most recent album. I've ranked this, the score for this one is a 3.16. They're all out of 5, so I'll give you the ranking scores, which is, let's say, an average of all the tracks that I've added up. So yeah, 3.16 for this one. It's their say 14th most recent album. A few notable tracks on it. Love Three Times. Like all Aerosmith albums, they always start off fairly strongly. First few tracks are always very good. Love Three Times is a good one. Oh Yeah, I really like, it's probably one of the best ones on here. And Out Go the Lights, track number 4 or 5 actually. That's probably the best track on here. I really like that one. Legendary Child's alright. There's a duet with Carrie Underwood, which a lot of people really slag off, Can't Stop Loving You. I actually think that's quite a good track, quite catchy. But yeah, it's a lot of meh, a lot of filler, a lot of not amazing tracks on there. So not awful, not as awful as some people would like you to think, but it's certainly far from their best. Well, it's my least favourite, but yeah, not awful, but just kind of a few decent tracks and a lot of just kind of 3 out of 5s, just meh. Not really a lot of interest in it. So that is my number 14, their most recent studio album. Number 13, I've got Just Push Play from 2001. That's their 13th studio album, and very similar to Music from Another Dimension. Just a lot of meh tracks. Starts off fairly well. Beyond Beautiful is quite good. Just Push Play, the title track, is pretty decent. Fly Away From Here actually I think is quite a good one as well. It's a ballad, but yeah, pretty good. Yeah, there's a few other half decent ones. Trip Hopping's okay. Out of Your Head's okay. But yeah, it's a bland album once again. It's a lot of filler, nothing too exciting. Definitely far from their best album. Just Push Play, number 13, that gets a 3.26. My next one is number 12, and that is Rockin' a Hard Place from 1982, and that's their 7th studio album. That one scores a 3.27, so yeah, a little bit better than Just Push Play. Once again, starts off pretty well with Jailbait. Lightning Strikes, probably the best track on the album. Bitches Brew is pretty decent. It's got Cry Me a River, which is a cover which I'm not overly impressed with. Joni's Butterfly, which I don't really like at all. Rockin' a Hard Place, Cheshire Cat, probably one of the best ones on here actually as well. So yeah, it's alright. They had line-up changes on this. Jimmy Crespo and Rick Dufay did the guitars on this, replacing Whitford and Joe Perry. who left on the album before this one. But yeah, not an awful album once again. It's just kind of a bit of a, yeah, it's a lot of not so good tracks. Production on this one's not so great as well. It took them a long time to make. It's, yeah, just, yeah, not, I say I don't hate any of the Aerosmith albums. I think they've all got their merits. They've all got good tracks on them, but yeah, number 12, definitely Rockin' a Hard Place from 1982. Number 11, I have gone for the album before that, Night in the Ruts from 1979. So Joe Perry did leave, like, during the making of this one, although there's most of the guitars on it. This from, yeah, 1979. It's their 6th studio album in total. This also scores a 3.27, so exactly the same mark as Rockin' a Hard Place. I prefer this one just because it's got a better production on it, I think. Yeah, some decent ones. No Surprise is a good opening track. Cheesecake I really like. Chiquita is a good one. It's got Remember Walking in the Sand on it, which yeah, dragged the average down, so I really don't care for that one particularly. Reefer Head Woman is okay. It's, you know, it's just not a fantastic album really. The quality had dropped off a bit by this point. So that is Night in the Ruts, my number 11 album, their 6th studio album, so he scores a 3.27. Number 10, I've gone for this one, Done with Mirrors. Before doing my sort of whole score ending up thing, I thought this one might be my least favourite, but as it turns out it's not. Yeah, this one scores a 3.33. It's from 1985, it's their 8th studio album in total. And it's actually got some decent tracks on it. Let the Music Do the Talking is a sort of a carryover from Joe Perry's solo project, which he did. That's probably one of the better ones on here. My Fist Your Face is good. Shame on You is actually quite good as well. The Reason the Dog I quite like. The second half of it's, you know, a little bit disappointing. The Hop's not very good. Darkness is a bit of a weird one. But yeah, it's an okay one actually. So that's my number 10 from 1985, their 8th studio album, Done with Mirrors. That's when all the band was back together as well on this one, so Perry and Whitford had returned. My number 9 is Get a Grip. Get a Grip's quite a long album. It was a double vinyl album when it came out, so it's got 15 tracks on it, which is yeah, more than most of their albums have. I think Music from Another Dimension is actually their longest running album, but anyway. Yeah, this one's from 1993, it's their 11th studio album. This one scored a 3.39 on the Science rating. Once again, starts off well. Eat the Rich, good track. Get a Grip, excellent track. Fever is okay. Living on the Edge, you know, it's, you know, a little bit tedious. What else have I got on here? Flesh, really good track. And Gotta Love It is probably my other favourite one on here. It's got Crying on it, it's got Crazy on it, Amazing, which is not a particularly great ballad. Boogeyman, which is like an instrumental at the end, sort of yeah, lets it down a bit. Just the amount of filler on this one lets it down really, just because it is quite a long album. So drag the average down, but not awful, but it's yeah, it just goes on a bit, and there's a few too many filler tracks on there for my liking. So yeah, that's Get a Grip from 1993, their 11th studio album, in at number 9. My number 8 is 9 Lives from 1997, their 12th studio album, and this got a 3.42, so I do slightly prefer it to Get a Grip. Once again, good start to the album. 9 Lives, the title track's good. Falling in Love is Hard on the Knees, I really like. Holding My Soul, not so much. Taste of India, I really like. Quite a few ballads on this one. Crash is okay. What else have I got on here? Yeah, they're pretty much the best tracks, really. Pink's not too bad. But yeah, starts off quite well and then does really drop off towards the end of the album, making it, yeah, very heavily front loaded. But yeah, not an awful album, pretty good, nice production, some good tracks on there. but ultimately, yeah, the second half of it really lets you down. So that's 9 Lives from 1997, 12th studio album, and that's 8th on my list. All of these now are all really good. Number 7, I've got their debut album, Aerosmith from 1973. So, and that gives a 3.56, so a little bit of a jump up in the scores. Some good stuff on here. It's a bit rough and ready, obviously. It's their first album, so it's yeah, you can tell that. Make It's a really good one. Obviously, it's got Dream On, which is a classic track, as well as Mama Kin. Moving Out is a brilliant one as well. They're probably the best tracks on there. But yeah, some good stuff. Nothing awful on here. Walking the Dog is actually not too bad a cover either. So yeah, worth a listen. Their debut album, number 7, from 1973, 3.56 rating. The next one is my number 6, is Draw the Line from 1977, 5th studio album in total. Scores a 3.61 on the science scale. Starts off really well. Draw the Line, brilliant track. I Want to Know Why, really love that one as well. Critical Mass is okay. Bright Light Fright is quite a banger. Kings and Queens is an excellent track as well. But yeah, this starts off well, and once again does tail off a little bit, but still a really good album. A lot better than a lot of people would have you know. Would say, but yes, the 3 tracks, Draw the Line, I Want to Know Why, Kings and Queens, are all absolute amazing tracks, so make them worth getting the album, and obviously they've really bumped the average up. The rest of them are all a little bit meh, but you know, it's alright. It's a decent album, very good, hence it coming in at number 6. Their 5th studio album from 1977, Draw the Line. At number 5, I've got their second album, Get Your Wings. This one's really good, 3.75 on the science rating, from 1974, this one. And yeah, same old song and dance, brilliant opening track. Lord of the Thighs, excellent. And we've also got Pandora's Box, the last track on it, which is really good. It's got their cover of Train Kept a Rolling, Seasons of Withers on here as well, which is a good one. So 8 tracks, not a lot of filler on this one. It's pretty solid all the way through, really, with some absolute bangers. So yeah, definitely an improvement from their first album, and yeah, one of their best in total. So that's my number 5 is Get Your Wings, from 1974, 3.75, second album, good. Right, number 4, I have gone for this one, Pump from 1989. It's their 10th studio album in total. This one scores a 3.9, and yeah, it's a lot of people are pretty critical of like late 80s Aerosmith, you know, pop rock or whatever they call it, but I don't really see it a lot of the time. And anyway, what's wrong? It's just catchy rock stuff. They've got obviously some outside writers in, you know, to help them out, and you know, it's okay for the most part. It does work. The first 2 tracks, Young Lust and F.I.N.E. Fine, are 2 of the best tracks you'll open any album ever. Really like, just yeah, superb opening to the album. Loving an Elevator is a decent track. Monkey on My Back's not bad. Janie's Got a Gun I don't really care for, lets it down a little bit. There's quite a few like interludes on this as well. The Other Side's good. My Girl's not the best. Don't Get Mad, Get Even is excellent. Voodoo Medicine Man is not, you know, not the best one either. And What It Takes is a ballad at the end, which I really do enjoy. I think it's one of their better ballads, to be honest. But yeah, an excellent album. Let down by a couple of filler tracks, which does bring it down, but I didn't expect it to be as high on my ranking as it was. But after listening to it and thinking, well, you know, most tracks are pretty good, there's no real bad ones on it. Janie's Got a Gun, probably my least favourite, to be honest, but everything else is really good. And so the opening 2 tracks absolutely slay. So well deserved. Number 4, Pump, from 1989, 10th studio album, scores a 3.9. gets it comfortably into 4th place. My number 3 is this one from 1987, Permanent Vacation. So that's their 9th studio album. Rates slightly higher than Pump on a 3.91. So not a lot better, but this one's let down by the last couple of tracks really, which is the cover of I'm Down, which isn't awful, and the movie, which is a bit of an instrumental, but pretty much everything else is a banger. Girl Keeps Coming Apart's not the greatest either. But once again, Heart's Done Time to Open It, Magic Touch is a great track, probably my favourite on here. Ragdoll I do like. Cimaraya is one of the slightly weaker ones as well. But then you just got Do Looks Like a Lady, St. John, which is amazing, Hangman Jury, which I really like, the title track Permanent Vacation, which is excellent as well, and the Ballad Angel, which I don't mind at all. I used to enjoy it more than I do now, but at the same time still a good track. But once again, yeah, people like, you know, Slate, you know, Aerosmith in the late 80s, and you know, they did some good stuff, especially the 2 albums that I've just mentioned. I think they're both excellent, so definitely check out Permanent Vacation from 1987. This is the first full Aerosmith album that I actually heard, to be honest with you, so I was, what, 15 at the time, and yeah, did very much enjoy it. This and Appetite for Destruction are around at the same time, and I remember listening to them both on heavy rotation at the time. Number 2, I've only got 2 left, but yeah, Toys in the Attic from 1975, their 3rd studio album, scores a 4 on the rating, and yeah, an excellent album, only let down by a couple of tracks on this one. The opening track, Toys in the Attic, is a superb one. Uncle Salty I don't think is one of the strongest on here. Adam's Apple I really like. Walk This Way, obviously everyone knows that one, it's a classic. You got Big 10-inch Record, which is, you know, it's okay, but it's not amazing. Sweet Emotion, everyone knows. No More, No More, probably my favourite on the album. It's an absolutely amazing track, definitely a 5 out of 5. Round and Round, which is not so good as well, and then You See Me Crying, which is a really good ballad as well to finish off with. So yeah, it scores really highly. The good tracks are amazing. The weaker tracks do slightly take it off the top spot, but the top spot is a difficult one to beat. It is way out in front, to be honest with you. So that's 1975's Toys in the Attic, their 3rd album, scores a solid 4, and that's my number 2. So you probably guessed the number 1 album is Rocks, 4.27, so way out in front, from 1976, their 4th album, and there's nothing that I don't like on here. Combination's the only slight, not combination, Nobody's Fault is the only slight weak track. Everything else is absolutely amazing. So Back in the Saddle, brilliant starter. Last Child, amazing. Rats in the Cellar, amazing. Combination is a good track. Sick as a Dog's probably my favourite one on here. That's another 5 out of 5. Get the Lead Out, Licking a Promise, and then Home Tonight, the ballad to finish it off with. Stunning from start to finish, really. No real weaknesses. And yeah, that's why it scored a 4.27, which is by far the highest album on the ranking. If you've not heard any Aerosmith and you're interested, this is the one to check out, because it really is got just classics from start to finish. So yeah, that is deservedly my number 1, 4th album from 1976, Rocks. And that concludes my scientific Aerosmith ranking. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope the sound quality was a little bit better. It is still like living next door to the M4, so it's yeah, it can be a little bit of traffic, but there's not too much I can do about that, sadly. But yeah, so if you liked it, like and subscribe, and keep checking out my videos, please, because you know, it makes me happy. I'll keep making them. A few more rankings to do, obviously. Getting into the D's, probably do Dio very soon. And maybe like revisit Alice in Chains as well, and do a complete ranking of their albums too. So thanks very much for watching again. Take it steady. Cheers.